You know what we're doing tonight?
What?
We are going to go see Beauty and the Beast.
We have to see Beauty and the Beast. Wait, are we going with Nora?
Yes.
She's gonna like...
I think you actually might like it. You have your seatbelt on, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just checking.
Cole was born on July 30th of 2004. I think the biggest thing that I recall about him, somebody fell or got hurt, he'd always be the first one to go help them up or make sure they were okay, come in the house and tell mom what happened. The summer after he was done with first grade, we met Steve Moffert. He was a teacher at Johnston, and they immediately hit it off. To have a male role model in an elementary setting is a pretty big deal these days. Then he started second grade, and we were fortunate enough to get Steve Moffert as his teacher. Cole was so excited. Steve was a huge Broncos fan, and Cole is a huge Packers fan. So there was a lot of banter with that going back and forth. As the school year progressed, Cole had a couple of medical things going on with himself. So Steve was really a good teacher for him to lean on just to make him feel comfortable because Steve had brain cancer.
I came to school with heart monitors that were like hooked up to my arms and legs. It kind of made me feel weird in second grade.
Cole was a little bit embarrassed at times. Steve would always make sure he'd tell him, you're okay, it's super cool. He would show him some of his own scars and just make him feel comfortable. And then about, I'd say a quarter of the way through the school year, Steve's cancer had come back. As things progressed and Steve got worse, that's where things got a little rough for Cole. He knew that something was going on beyond what he could take care of, because again, it goes back to Cole always wanted to make sure everybody was okay. Even though he was in second grade, he knew that he couldn't fix what was going on.
When he was getting more and more sick, I started going through stuff like anxiety and stuff like that. It hurt a lot.
He was just a huge role model for Cole in his life. The school pulled together at that time. The cancer had come back in full force, and ultimately Steve had passed away on Christmas Eve. Cole really had a tough time coping with it. He put on a really good front, a really good mask that he was okay, but deep down inside he was just really struggling with how to handle this person that he was so close to. He just thought this was the coolest teacher ever. It had just passed away and he didn't have him anymore. This is kind of where he started running with us a lot.
Running like takes everything out of my brain and then literally like throws it in the trash, restarts everything. When I'm running with my dad, we talk about school and stuff like that.
We would, run in the mornings, afternoons, whenever we could, just to open his mind up. Just get it out, and he's like, yeah, I had a rough day at school today, and he'd let it out, and after that, it was great.
We really utilized as parents the running as a medical tool, if you will, to help him cope with this. Running was Cole's medicine. My husband and I had met Brian and Laura from the Snowdrop Foundation of Wisconsin. They were telling us about this organization that they had and how they raise awareness and money for pediatric cancer patients.
They were totally sold on the mission of Snowdrop, and within a year, their son Cole was attached to my hip. He wanted to go out running, learn what we're doing.
I had done a run for Snowdrop, honoring one of the Snowdrop kids, and Cole really caught into that, and he was like, that's super cool. The Snowdrop Foundation really helped be an outlet for him as to how he could help people again, because I think he was still missing that piece in his life where he liked to be able to help people, make people feel better. He asked if he could do a run for Snowdrop, and I believe his first one he did just a 5K. And then he came to us and he said, I want to run a half marathon. And I thought, kid, are you sure? He came to us one day and he's like, why am I always the only kid at the finish line? And we're Like, well, because not every kid is going to be out there training for a half marathon like you are. He's like, well, I think we need to do something about it.
We're talking with the Stoffel family, and she says, Cole has this really cool idea he wants to bring to the table.
And he had drawn an obstacle course. He said, I want to create an obstacle course for kids. And he said, I think we need to talk to Brian and Laura from Snowdrop about this.
And I just looked at my wife and the board members at Snowdrop and I said, how do we not think of this, right? We're an organization that's serving children with pediatric cancer. We don't have a kids event. Like, wow.
I really wanted to help after my second grade teacher died, and it was just going through my mind that I wanted to help, I wanted to help, I wanted to help.
And we were all sitting around one night talking about Cole's obstacle course and what are we going to call this? We were throwing out names left and right. And ultimately his older sister Tiffany had said, Cole's Cancer Crusade. He really got out there and got the job done. He pitched to all the local schools in the valley about this event that he was putting on.
Is this it right here?
It's gotta be this.
Yeah, it is.
We have some special guests here today that Mrs. Touche is going to introduce to you from the Snowdrop Foundation. So
Just fill in the blanks whenever you can, okay? You'll be fine.
We thought that it was just going to be like 75 people, like of family and friends.
He had over 200 people there, and then the media picked up on it. I think every local news station was there that day. He thought maybe he'd raise $1,000, have 75 people there.
We raised $4,000.
And after he was done, he already was planning for next year. Someone asked him, is there going to be a second Cole's Cancer Crusade? He said, absolutely. I remember calling Leah Shapiro from Fleet Feet. They were a critical part of this, just as much as Snowdrop was, getting him through the training process and be able to achieve his first half marathon, as well as be able to share a story about the Snowdrop Foundation, what he was doing. They had some winter warrior and training programs. It wasn't just about his form or how fast he could run. It was more about, what you're doing out there and the greater cause, because everybody knew that what Cole was doing. That was a really great platform for Cole to start sharing his story. I remember Leah being there that very first training day, and she introduced Cole just like he was an adult. She just opened her arms to him, and so did everybody else.
The big race is next New Year's. The Snowdrop Foundation's 55-hour run. My goal is to hit 50 miles in 2 days.
To think that he started just doing some 5Ks to now him, a few years later, attempting to run 50 miles is just incredible. And as a mom, you sit back and think, what more can he do? He's created this wave with kids, showing them that they can get out there and run, that they can get out there and do more in their community, for being a voice for other kids in their community. And I just can't wait to see what's ahead. And I think Cole's Cancer Crusade is just going to explode. He hopes this movement, Kids Helping Kids, really gets out there.